Right, Jamie, so you've been sitting in the corner of the saloon, squirreled away over there with your headphones on, chuckling to yourself and looking extremely serious at times, and quite often late into the night. So you've got something in store for us that's a little different from the normal Follow the Boat Extra. Can you tell us about it?
Okay, I have been working on a full-length HD audio video delight, and it's a mix that I've put together for my friends, mainly back in the UK actually. So I've taken other people's music and I've mixed them together, and I've taken other people's visuals and I've mixed them together, and they have all come together into this 1 hour 47-minute extravaganza.
Okay, and does this have anything to do with boating at all?
Absolutely none whatsoever, apart from a couple of very, very small tenuous links. So for the guys that and girls out there who have been subscribed to our YouTube channel to catch up on our sailing adventure exploits, you are going to be sorely disappointed with this FTB Extra and the one that it's introducing to, which is the next FTB Extra, because it has nothing to do with sailing, other than the fact this is perhaps something I would like to be playing when we've got all the sails out and there's a stiff breeze and we want to whack some music on really loudly. That's the only real link to that. The other link is that I used to do a lot of DJing back in the UK under the collective called the Spannerheads, and the Spannerheads were 3 of us, and if you'll notice, some of you may have noticed that our YouTube channel is actually called Spannerheads, it's not called Follow the Boat. So that's really the only link. But essentially, if you don't like electronic dance music and techno and all those squeechy, squelchy, all that modern rubbish that's not real music, you are going to hate the next FTB Extra. This is really for my my homeboys who love their dance music.
Okay, so you have been warned.
Yes.
Don't bother watching it.
Don't even bother commenting, watching. You know where the off button is on your computer, so just don't even watch the next FTB Extra if this is not your cup of tea.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the music.
Okay, so the music is, as I say, it's really classified as tech house. It's sort of tough, hard dance music to the uninitiated. A lot of it's very modern actually, and by modern I mean it's recent. It's only come out in the last few months. So this is really me catching up on a decade of not doing any DJing. Because one of the things that I had to compromise on when I became a DJ, became a sailor, was to let go of my decks and my records, because of course we don't have room for them on the boat. So this is my way of getting back round into that whole scene. It's really just for a bit of fun, but the music essentially is the kind of dance music that I really enjoy listening to. Yeah,
and what about the visuals? Why have you brought them in?
So the visuals, again, they are by someone else, so I need to make that clear. The music is not by me and the visuals are not by me. I simply brought it all together and mixed it up into this 1 hour 47 mix. The visuals are by a very famous graphic artist called Beeple. And he puts a lot of Creative Commons, so i.e. free stuff out on the internet for VJs, so visual disc jockeys, who put together the graphics to DJ sets in clubs. He puts out this free stuff, and so we've got hold of his visuals and we've kind of put them together so the visuals fall in time roughly with the music. So that's really what the mix has been about, is putting these two things together.
Okay, and how do we start off?
How do we start off? Okay, well, we start off in the land of pyramids. You will see the first 2-3 clips by Beeple. He's got an obsession with pyramids. A lot of his clips have pyramids in them. So I kind of took that as the starting point. We start off in the land of pyramids and we go through a few wormholes, of course, because it's tech house. Every tech head loves their wormhole. Into a land of who knows what.
Yeah, it's a bit sci-fi for me, and there's some underwater kind of, I don't know, it's what you make of it really, isn't it? Rather like the music, I suppose.
Yeah, and it's because his graphics, people's graphics they're obviously all computer generated, but a lot of his stuff can look quite analogue-y, sort of like hand-drawn, very sort of 60s, 70s retro cartoons, but at the same time you've also got some real proper sci-fi techie 2001 flying through, you know, tunnels of neon lights and things. So it goes very well with the music.
Okay. You mentioned earlier that this is dedicated to a group of friends. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, okay, so since moving onto the boat, and it's been almost 10 years now, one of the things I miss more than anything else is family and friends. And so this mix is really my way of kind of remembering my family and friends, and it's a nod to my family and friends just to say that we haven't forgotten you. And when I last used to hang out with you guys 10 years ago, it was when we were DJing in clubs and bars and parties and what have you. So this is my way of saying hi, and the first person that I really have to say a big shout out to is my dad, believe it or not, because it was he who, back in 1978, introduced my brother and myself to Kraftwerk's Trans-Europe Express. And that single moment of enlightenment changed my view of music forever. And I can honestly say that because of that introduction to Kraftwerk when I was 8 years old, that has pretty much formed my love of electronic music. So there's my dad. Then of course there's the guys I used to DJ with. Let's not forget people like Matt Harvey, who's also part of the Spannerheads collective. You've got Phil Young, Kerry Stokes, Jane Fitz. Who else is there?
There was Nick Ward.
Yeah, Nick Ward of the Skirmish Crew, who we used to DJ with. And then I've got some notes here because I actually wanted to dedicate just a couple of specific tracks in this mix. So one of them is Danny Tenaglia, it's a track called Dibita, I guess it's pronounced. That one goes out especially to Bobby, who used to organise club nights, for which I used to DJ for. American, who I know loves the Danny Tenaglia Global Underground mix, as does Emma Cullen as well, who incidentally, am I allowed to announce this?
No, not yet.
Oh, I can't say anything.
No.
Watch this space. Remember that name, Emma Cullen. Okay, so there's those guys. Who else? Okay, well I can't forget, of course, my old mucker Paul, my old raving partner. There's a track in there for you, Paul. There's loads of tracks, you love them all, but one in particular, it's called Let Me Tell You by Jimmy Edgar. And if ever there was a track to be packing boxes to, it's that one. And who else there? Mustn't forget my mates back at home, my DJ friends, Tom Hallmark and Dave Webb as well. There's a couple of tunes in there for you guys. I mean, I know you'll love most of them. And then, not forget my two brothers, Tim and Marcus. There's a tune called simply Dancing. So keep an eye out for that one.
But you did say to me that the mix was dedicated to two people in particular. Who are they?
Yeah. So,
and why?
Okay, so when I put the whole thing together, I was putting it together for two people who are very dear to me. Sadly, being so far away and having commitments, and even when we go back to the UK, don't really get a chance to catch up with these guys. They've got their own families. I'm busy when I go back. But I think of them often. And I haven't mentioned their names yet, but the first one has to be my dear cousin Jason, who was my DJing partner in crime. And Jay and me used to, we were born a day apart basically, we're like twins. And we used to, when I did most of my DJing, it was normally with Jason. So I know Jay will love every single track, I think, on this mix because his musical tastes are very similar to mine. So Jason, this one's for you. And then the other person I have to name check is Gav. And that is because in a few days' time it's going to be his birthday. And I think last year I missed your birthday, Gav. So this year, this is a little present for you, a little birthday present for you. So Jason and Gav, I hope you enjoy this.
One last question before we all burst into tears. Do you have any favourite tracks?
Yeah, well, I think they're all good. There are a whole load that I didn't put on this mix, so I am going to do another mix, but it probably won't be with all the visuals because it's so time consuming. But I'm definitely going to keep doing the mixing. So what wasn't in this one, I'm going to put in the next one. There's quite a few that stand out. I think my favourite, though, has to be Dedicated to Death, which is a rather morose title. But it's by a guy called Uppercent. I think that's how you pronounce his name, Uppercent. And it is the most extraordinary sort of take on tech house that I've ever heard. It's quite cinematic and Yeah, it's a very, very curious tune, but I think it's about the 4th tune in on this mix, and that just sends shivers down my spine every time I hear it. So.
Okay, so does that mean that this particular Follow the Boat Extra will go up immediately followed by the mix itself?
Precisely. I think the two are going to go up together concurrently. So somewhere on the screen now there may be a link to the next FTB Extra, which is the mix itself. I did this intro separately because I don't want to spoil that experience of that particular mix. So yeah, click the link now and enjoy it.